Today on the Raiders Report, we've got a lot to talk about. The Silver and Black just signed a few more undrafted free agents UDFAs, bringing the total to 17. I found that pretty interesting, especially since John Spytek had mentioned the Raiders would stick around 15 UDFAs. But now, when you add those 17 UDFAs to the 11 players we drafted, the Raiders roster stands at 92 players, if my math is right. And you know what that means. The Raiders have one too many. Somebody's going to have to go. Later in the show, I'll tell you exactly which player I would cut if I were running the Raiders. And stick around till the end. Because yesterday, Hunter Renfrow signed with the Carolina Panthers. We'll break it all down and talk about what it means for a guy who bled silver and black for years. If you respect Hunter, you're going to want to hear this. Yesterday, I talked about some of the UDFAs the Raiders brought in. Today, let's highlight another name. Don Boyd, offensive lineman from Georgia Southern. Big guy, and about 6 feet 3 inches, 310 pounds. Over 1,500 snaps at left tackle in college. That's the kind of experience you like to see. He gave up 6 sacks and 43 pressures, over 952 career pass blocking snaps at Georgia Southern and Alabama State. The Raiders clearly aren't messing around. They're stacking up bodies on the offensive line, trying to find hidden gems. And honestly, you can never have too much depth up front. You can definitely tell, whether it's through the draft or signing undrafted free agents. John Spytek believes in one big rule. You can never have too many offensive linemen, and the Raiders keep proving it. Now let's meet another new face, Zachary Franklin, wide receiver out of Illinois. Last season, Franklin caught 55 passes for 652 yards and scored 4 touchdowns. He's 6 feet 1 inch, 204 pounds, good size, but he's not exactly a freak athlete. He posted a 2.64 on the Relative Athletic Score, RAS, and ran a 4.62-second 40-yard dash, which raised a few eyebrows. Still, Franklin has strong ties to UTSA, where he played before Illinois, and even teamed up with Tariq Woolen, so the guy knows how to compete with real talent. Now for UDFA, number 17, Anthony Booker Jr. I was wondering when the Raiders were going to bring in a true big man for the trenches, and here he is. Booker is an absolute unit. 6 feet 3 inches and 347 pounds. Last season, he racked up 17 tackles and 3 tackles for loss. No sacks, but honestly, that's not what you bring a guy like Booker in for. You bring him in to eat up space, soak up double teams, and let your playmakers shine. In his college career, he tallied 82 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 2.5 sacks. He's a true one-gap defensive lineman. It's meaning he locks in, anchors down, and opens doors for others to make plays. And when you have a guy strong enough in the lower body to hold his ground like he does, good things happen for your defense. All right, here's a quick rundown of the Raiders' 2025 UDFA class so far. John Joyner, Matt Jones, Parker Clemens, Trevor Ma, defensive tackle Baylor, John Humphrey, cornerback USC, Hodge Malik Williams, quarterback UNLV, Greedy Vance Jr., cornerback USC, Sean Dulac, linebacker Buffalo, Mello Dodson, Jared Hufford, Carter Runyon, Hudson Clark, Pat Conroy, Jalen Walker, Don Boyd, Zachary Franklin, Anthony Booker Jr. And we're just getting started. This rookie class could have some serious diamonds in the rough. And you know we'll keep breaking it all down for you. After all these UDFA signings, if my math is mathing correctly, the Raiders now have 92 players on the roster. Problem is, we're only allowed to have 91. Thanks to David Agoha, our player from the NFL International Pathway Program. Quick note, most NFL teams are capped at 90, but the Raiders get that one extra slot. So here's the deal. The Silver and Black have to cut one player. Now, here's today's big question. And I want your answer in the comments too. If you had to cut one player, who would it be? And why? While we take a quick YouTube ad break, scroll down and drop your pick. Then when you come back, I'll share mine. Here's a little spoiler. If it were up to me, I'd move on from one of the players scraping the bottom of the roster. And no, I'm not talking about someone like Thayer Munford just yet. Sometimes teams do get creative. Maybe they trade a player they don't see fitting long-term rather than cutting them outright. And trust me, that could definitely be a smart move here. In just a moment, I'll show you 10 names the Raiders could think about parting ways with. Stick around, because the roster math just got interesting. Now, if I were sitting right there in the Raiders war room with Pete Carroll and John Spytek, these would be the top 10 names I'd put on the table. I'd say, if we need to move on from someone to make room, here's my list. And honestly, I could sit down and give you a real reason for each one. Yeah, man, cutting players sucks. No doubt about it. But it's part of building a team, part of managing a roster. And here on this show, I promise you, I evaluate the Raiders the same way I would if I worked for the team myself. Coming up next, the Raiders actually invited one more player to camp. Yesterday, I told you about 5 players who got camp invites. Today, we've got one more name added to the list. Quick reminder, these guys aren't officially on the roster yet. They're basically trying out, fighting for a paycheck and a chance to live out the NFL dream. Dorian Singer, a wide receiver from Utah, officially got a camp invite. He's a smaller guy but has solid speed. Whenever I see a player from Utah, I immediately think tough, physical football. Now, the Raiders added a lot of receivers this offseason, both through the draft and undrafted free agents. Here are the 6 camp invite names I've got so far. DB Campy Golf. Yes, that's his real name. OL Bless Harris. Easily the best name of the bunch. OL Josh Carlin. LS Tom Callahan. That's our long snapper. RB Callan Griffin. WR Dorian Singer. Before we wrap up, I have to talk about this. Hunter Renfrow is officially signing with the Carolina Panthers. If you missed it, here's the quick timeline. Renfrow worked out with Carolina on Wednesday, then with the Raiders on Friday. But now he's heading back home. Carolina's where he grew up, and of course, he started at Clemson. I'm pumped for Renfrow to get another shot. Honestly, I think everyone in Raider Nation still has a lot of respect for him. If you're with me, drop a number sign Renfrow down in the comments. Show Renfrow a little love as he fights to make the Panthers roster.